I did not test audio, so we're just going to wing it. Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast, episode 409 for July 23rd, 2023. My name is Nathan Reetin-Spruth. Joining me this week, we are joined by Connor the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
It's me, the one and only.
And that's it, because Aroa is feeling not well, and I think Nick Lotus has, like, a family? And like
He's got, like, parental responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it.
It's just me. I'm all who you have.
You're the only one who showed up, and that's...
hopefully my audio is good, because we didn't test this week. Low effort podcast, everyone.
The audio is fine. You have a little bit of background noise, but you'll be all right. I think
Really?
It sounds like there's a fan or something.
I can't possibly think what that could be.
Did you just turn off the fan?
I have absolutely no fans in here, and my computer's water cooled.
Interesting. All right. Well, whatever. There was a little bit. It's gone now. Anyway, okay. So let us ask where I can find you.
You could find me. You could find, I think you could find Aroa and all of our relevant social medias at aroa.website. One of those I'd like to draw your attention to is Clinton's Core Classics, a Rise of the Rune Lords first edition actual play podcast. We got like maybe a month and a half or so of releases left. And also we've been remastering the first season, which wasn't particularly good before. It has never been a more perfect time that is, to start listening.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't have the original audio, but from
what we're doing the best we can with what we have. It's a little choppy in some places, but like, I'll respect your time.
Would there be any way to get the old audio back? Basically, we'd have to ask the previous editor if they kept those files.
I'm not willing to bet they did, / I'm not willing to ask.
See, and me, I'm a hoarder when it comes to digital stuff. So I have things saved from years ago that I should probably
has an intense system of floppy drive backups. Like,
yeah.
You know how you can go into an art studio and they got like those drying racks? It's just row upon row of like floppy.
It's true. That's how all of the podcasts are saved. Just one
a couple kilobytes at a time.
Hey, you know, floppy disks could hold up to 1.44 megabytes. So
I'll be honest, I only bring that up because I've been particularly nostalgic about, I guess, old games in general. People were posting like, I'm going to pull Doom out of my butt because that's the most obvious one. But like, you used to play that on a floppy. How fun.
And then they had like CDs come out with CD audio, and it changed everything. However, you can find me. Let's move on to me. You can find me, Nathan Reetin-Spruth, at Reetin everywhere. I'm on YouTube at Reetin. That's also one of the places you can listen to the podcast. I know some people, Nick Lotus being the one I can think of, prefer to listen on YouTube. So I will continue posting on there because some people just prefer YouTube as a place where they can click play and then just go do things around the house. I'm also on Spotify, Reetin Podcast everywhere. Mainly I'm on Twitch Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And I am desperately trying to get banned from Twitter. Not giving a fuck. This Wednesday I will not be streaming. I think I may have told you in the chat in the stream. This Wednesday I won't be streaming because I'm going to be driving like over 12 hours that day.
You've been doing that a lot lately.
Well, we have a clinic that needs a server, a printer, and some phones set up. And it's about 5.5 hours away. We already worked on it, and that's what we did last week, or the week before last. We set all that stuff up, but unfortunately the server, we were like, there's no server here, so we had to get our server ready. And my boss, for some reason, has some personal things going on where he's like, I can't go to this clinic to get this working. And
He's
it
like,
opens,
personally, I cannot drive 5 hours to go here. I cannot be bothered to do that.
yeah, but uh, it needs to be done because the clinic opens next week. So somebody has to go. And he was like, does anybody want to go? And I was like, I'll fucking do it. You give me 65 cents per mile that I drive. And I am totally cool with that. And then he's like, I was like, so am I staying in a hotel room or am I driving back that night? And he said, that's totally up to you. And my reply was, you're either giving $300 to a hotel or you're giving me $300 in overtime. And I'm choosing the me getting the $300 in overtime.
Sure.
So that's why I'm driving so much. But that means I'll also be back on Thursday to play games. Yeah. Anyway, and then
You
I
have to
think on
work that following Thursday.
yes, I do.
Bummer.
Yeah. It's okay though. Again, I need and want the money. Um, I what was I gonna say? I was going on to something else. Oh, Thursday. I will be starting up the next playthrough. No, it's next Thursday. So I lied. I'm a liar. It's not this upcoming Thursday. It's the following Thursday. Is when Baldur's Gate 3 releases. So I'll probably start my playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 not this week, but next week. Let's move on and ask what games you played this week.
It's a very short list. I've been talking about that Destroy All Humans 2 game. They remastered it. They called it Reprobed Edition because, haha, funny butt joke.
Yeah, butt
And
jokes.
boy, let me just see real quick. It took me 20 hours approximately to 100% this game, and I was sick and tired of it. Probably at around hour like 7, 8, if I'm being generous. That's a lot of stretched patience for wiener jokes.
I think that it is a game that would be fun in short bursts. So you probably binged through it.
It was perfect for like honestly like best case scenario kind of game for I'm gonna play this 15 to 30 minutes before bed
Mm-hmm.
because for at least parts of each stage, just digging around on the world map is productive. You could pick up like the artifacts and stuff like that, the collectibles. You could abduct people to get your powers better, and you're not really being told to do that, but you do get enhancements for doing it. So it's like, hell yeah, I'll just dick around for a bit. But once you've done all that, and you're just like, okay, I gotta collect the scatterings that I missed, and I don't know where they're at, and ugh, it's not respecting of the player's time in a way that I wanted it to be. And because that was all that was left for the last like 6 to 8 hours of gameplay I had left, it sure did feel like a dredge. But it's
Mine,
over.
the next game I'm playing through is Baldur's Gate 3, which is over 100 hours.
And we famously know how well you do with tabletop RPG like games that have 100+ hour time spans.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 will be better than for me than the Pathfinder games because it's just the RPG.
Sure, right.
I did not like there's like an RTS. Well, it's not RTS. It's more like Might and Magic. The Might and Magic Heroes of Might and Magic.
Mhm.
There we go. It's like those games where you have like another section where you're trying to control areas, and I'm like, I just want to play the RPG portion. I just want to go
That
through
is
the
a
story.
complaint a lot of people brought up about, like, even in my friend group of like nerds who hang out together, we all played that game for the most part, and we all pretty universally were. Most of us hated it. I kind of loved it, but I just happened to have a setup that was really beneficial for doing that just sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this has nothing to do with my character, really. Though it does, because if you don't completely dominate the map before a certain point in the game, you get kind of screwed over later on.
Right, everyone has low morale. They can't actually succeed in anything, and it's like, oh, the fight was over before it started.
Yeah,
Fudge.
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Um, but anyway, did you play anything else? You played Destroy All Humans?
Yeah, speaking of blasts from the past, I've been in just a grossly nostalgic state lately. So I started playing Final Fantasy VII again. Originally, it was
Whoa.
like, oh, I'm just gonna pop this in and play it for a little. I'm playing on Steam, but euphemistically speaking, pop the disc in. And long story short, I'm now into like 7 hours into a save. You ever just have that happen? You mean to play a game for 30 minutes to an hour just to scratch an itch, and then there you are, almost done with disc one.
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times. And actually, are you done? Is that all the
Am I
games
done?
you
Oh,
played?
oh yes, that is it for the games that are worth mentioning.
Did you beat the game? Yes. Did you beat
No,
seven
I
hours?
got a little more grounding to do with it, and unfortunately, no, it's a fun time. I love this game. I can't complain about it.
For me, I played because it was included with Game Pass. It should just be my catchphrase. Is I played Arcade Paradise. Mainly because I was like, I need something to bide the time before Baldur's Gate comes out because I don't know what game I want to play. And this seems, yeah, it seems fine. It starts out really slow. The basic story is that your dad leaves you a laundromat. In the laundromat, uh, that's how you earn the money, and he's like, I built my business, and you do this. And in the back room, there are some arcade machines. You end up taking the laundromat and turning it more into an arcade. There's a laundromat in the front, but like you keep expanding in the back and adding more and more arcade machines. And then once you buy up that number of arcade machines that you can buy, they're like, hey, another expansion, and you pay for the expansion, and you can buy more arcade machines. I really like the game. It's really. Did you watch on Monday and Tuesday? Because it starts out slow, because you're literally doing laundry, and then waiting. You put the laundry in the washer, you wait 3 minutes, then you put it in the dryer, and then you take it from the dryer and put it like folded up.
I
Thankfully you don't
watched
have to do the folding part.
I watched for approximately 10 minutes one time you were streaming it, and in that 10 minutes you were doing such exciting tasks as cleaning up trash from a laundromat and playing the same minigame over and over because your daily checklist said you had to get a certain score. And I realized, oh, this isn't the game for me, and I tuned out.
Oh, okay. So it gets better than that. There are a bunch of games. Like if you just want to go in and play the games and make money playing games, you can do that. It's fun. And the best thing I can say about this game is that I looked at my clock, I saw that it was 7:30, and then the next time I looked at my clock, it was 8:50. So I had lost track of time while playing the game,
And
and
you get into that flow state.
yeah, I got to the point where I actually, lost track of time, which doesn't happen very often. As I'm sure you know, being an adult, it's not something that I don't fall into that because I'm like, I need to go to bed at a certain time, or I only stream for 3 hours, so I keep looking at stuff. But I wouldn't say that it's an amazing game or that it's for everyone, but for the price of I paid for Game Pass, it's enjoyable. And you can play all the arcade games. They're not amazing, but you can play them, and they have pool, they have air hockey, they have that wood chopping game that was really popular for a while. And I'm kind of excited to see what other games they have in there. Because once you get bored of one cabinet, you can just be like, I'm going to go buy another arcade machine for $3,000. Can I do that in real life, Connor?
Well, I mean, I guess technically, I don't think it's going to turn the profit you're expecting it to, though. Did you actually have any arcade experiences growing up? Like, did you have any nearby?
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had a couple arcades, but those, died pretty quickly. The main reason I never really went to arcades was my family was poor.
Yeah, that was our
And
excuse.
yeah, so every once in a while, like it stopped happening, and it's annoying to me. But like every store you would go into would have like a Street Fighter cabinet back in the day, and now
Hmm.
there's no arcade machines in any store. But yes, I had some arcade experience when I was a kid, and I know that Durga and I, when we went to Japan in 2019, we went to the Sega arcade, and that was pretty awesome.
That's a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
have a couple of like core memory style arcade experiences from growing up, and you definitely do get in that flow state while you're there. Like it's a place that's designed to allow the background noise of the world to just blend away because
I
there's too many arcade noise jingles.
there was one arcade I went into in Japan that just like they had the whatever audio cranked all the way up for the stereo system, and I was just like, nope, this is far too loud. I don't have the earplugs for this.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, so I did not go into that one, but the Sega arcade was really fun, and I remember playing, Donkey Kong, the Donkey Konga, but the not Donkey Konga version of it.
Mm.
That was pretty fun. Anyway, Friday I played Exo Primal with some friends, which do you know? Yeah,
Dinosaurs.
you shoot dinosaurs, and it was all right. We had an okay time, and I think I might have got a friend in trouble, but we'll talk about that later,
Oh
off
no.
off mic, or
I I
off
immediately know
podcast.
what happened, and that's a shame.
It is a shame, but we are going to move on, and we're going to talk about some news stories. Those news stories being the first one is YouTube raising their monthly prices. I actually wanted to talk to Aroa about this because he actually pays for YouTube Premium.
I have a weird feeling this isn't gonna be a big enough impact for him to stop paying, but maybe I'm wrong.
Probably not. Here's the deal. He pays for the family plan because him and his wife, are on that. They're a family, and so it's a little bit cheaper to do that. And then also, I'm part of that family, so I hope he continues to pay. Because I got, years ago we had a podcast where I was like, whatever. I don't like using ad block on YouTube because it takes money away from the people who are making the videos. And now there are like 5 or 6 ads in every video, and I'm like, fucking ad block. That's what I need.
It's gotten bad. I've particularly lately been using YouTube on the ride home,
Yeah.
and I'll watch like a 2-minute video, 3-minute video, and then I will have 6 to 8 minutes of ads. Okay, that's an over exaggeration, but damn, that's a lot of ads.
I stopped. I'm happy that Aurora, because I never enabled ad block for YouTube, but there was a point where I'd watch like an half an hour video, and there would be like 5 or 6 ads. So like every 3 or 4 minutes they would put another ad in. And I understand that they're trying to make money, but the I'm okay with it being like an ad in the beginning, an ad somewhere in the middle, and an ad somewhere in the end, like just 3 ads. But when it comes to like multiple ads in one video, it's not worth it to me.
It seems
So
like it's when a video has like multiple checkpoints in it, or not checkpoints, but the like topic points. There's a word for that. It seems like every time you hit one of those, it
chapter
throws a new ad at you.
markers.
That's exactly what I said the first time. Every time you hit a new chapter marker, it seems like that's when it plays an ad, which means depending on what kind of video you're watching, you could be getting like 10 plus in your single sitting,
Yeah.
which is just too gosh darn much.
So now it's raising by so the YouTube Premium. What YouTube Premium does is you don't have ads because you pay that monthly fee. Um, and what they're doing is right now it's $12 a month for one person, and they're raising it up to $14 a month. So it's $11.99. They're raising up to $13.99. YouTube Premium members an ad-free experience on YouTube. Also, subscribers. It allows subscribers, to play clips in the background and download videos on mobile to watch offline, which I think is also a neat feature for, like, if you're going on a long trip or something. Like, I'm gonna go to Japan this October, and having YouTube or some
I
video
just
saved is
can't
gonna
go
be
to
nice.
Japan without having Skibbity Toilet on my pocket at any given time. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly. I'm talking about the 12-hour flight there. Having some videos to watch makes it a lot
Like,
easier.
they got data on planes now. It's okay.
Planes do not. I'm just saying they do not give you enough data. They're like 200 megabytes. It's awful, unless the plan allows you to do that. Anyway, I'm not sure. Does it say any? Aha! Late last year, YouTube increased the price of its family plan by $5, pushing the monthly rate to $22.99. In March, the company tacked on $8 per month to YouTube TV, which now commands $73 a month. By the way, that
Ooh,
started at 35.
that's too high, man. That's too much.
Yeah, like that's why I switched to Sling. But I don't see that they are raising the cost for the family plan. So the family plan is staying at $23. And don't get YouTube TV. Just get, if you are interested in getting live TV or with DVR or something like that, uh, I would say Sling is still the best offer because it's $30 cheaper than YouTube TV. And there are other ways you can get it as well. But for the shows that I want to watch, which are wrestling, I need to have Sling or YouTube TV. Do you subscribe to anything like this?
No, and I think that maybe it's just because I slipped out of that 18 to 25 age demographic. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm not getting the targeted like videos that I'm actually really interested in watching.
On YouTube?
And I'm talking, I guess, YouTube specifically on here, and I don't pay for like a Sling or nothing. I
Yeah.
got Reetenflix.
Yeah, you got Reetenflix, which is better because you can ask for stuff and sometimes it gets updated. Anyway,
Sometimes the things I ask for even show up.
yeah. We got another going in on this. So we have YouTube is raising prices. Netflix also increased prices last year or this year. Everything's increasing prices. Game Pass is increasing their price by $1. We also have Spotify is increasing their price from $9.99 to $10.99 a month for their single person listening experience. I actually use Spotify Premium, even though I hate Spotify as a company. But it's just, I want to listen to my podcasts without ads, and I want to listen to music without having to like listen to ads. So I pay the money. Do you have? Is this another thing that you don't have?
No, I don't pay for any of these. Like
Nice.
people are fools for paying for all of this stuff.
Yeah, idiots. Only stupid people would pay for all this stuff.
I mean, I
And
kind of think that way.
so the cost of an individual premium plan is expected to be going from $9.99 to $10.99 a month at some point next week. They did say a bunch of this is from Tech Radar. Sorry, it looked a little weird on my toolbar. I have dark mode on, and it like does not allow me to read the Tech Radar logo.
We forgive you. It's okay.
So saw a bunch of Spotify price increases back in 2021, but the only plan that saw a price increase in the U.S. was a family plan, which went from $14.99 to $15.99. Now individual subscribers are paying $11 a month. So if you have a family plan, or if you have a family that you want on the plan, it would be cheaper per person if you went with the family plan, which is always
Drastically
kind
no
of
brainer.
yeah, which has always kind of been the case. And I've had a friend who was like, we should do the Spotify family plan because it would save money and I can give you money every month. And I was like, all right, Durga, but I don't trust you to give me money every month. And so I never did that. So yeah, it is. I just wanted to combine both of those because stuff is getting too expensive. The whole
What are
reason why people started using like Netflix and YouTube Premium and YouTube TV is because they were cheaper than their landline alternatives, or the competition. And now prices are raising. It's almost like the competition isn't working.
I,
Sorry.
I feel like if you're Spotify, and I was trying to think of the right way to say this, and I think this is possibly a problem just because I've never paid for Spotify before. They are constantly like, "Hey, homie, we will give you 3 months, 5 months, 12 months for 99 cents a month. Just please give us your credit card information."
Yeah.
Just constantly being like, "Hey, 99 cents for 3 months." If they're really that hurting for profit, why don't they just cut that shit out?
To cut away the marketing budget.
Like, it's Why are they so desperate to get new listeners if getting new listeners is hurting their bottom line so much? Like the reason you're not making any money is because most people do, but they're only paying 9.99 or 9.90 cents, whatever it is. I don't actually know what it is, and then probably canceling their
I
subscription.
think it is like you get your first 3 months for 99 cents or something like that, and then it keeps going. It's because it gets you trapped in, and it's a tactic that works. They do it with Game Pass as well, where it's like, hey, you want your first 3 months for $1 or something like that, and then they just get their hooks in you, and they're hoping that you either like the service so much that you're like, hey, yeah, okay, this is worth the $10 a month or $11 a month now, or that you forget that it's a minimal amount of money that you'll forget that you're paying it every month.
So I hear what you're saying, and my counterpoint is these are incredibly predatory tactics.
Oh, they're
I'm not
awful.
going to support a company who does that if I can help it. And
I
for that reason,
completely understand.
Spotify doesn't get my money. They'll never get my money.
Good, good. Don't do it. Don't be like me, Connor. Also, don't buy games on Ubisoft's launcher. Apparently, there are some, like, I think I have like 2 or 3 games on Ubisoft's launcher. Do you have any Ubisoft games that have to go through their launcher, like Watch Dogs or Rainbow Six? I think did for a
Well,
while.
well, as you know, I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm a big fan of the Far Cry games, which are all Ubisoft games. And if the case is that when I purchase those on Steam, I'd also have to launch them every 30 days or something like that, that doesn't seem right to me.
yeah. So there's this article on TechSpot that is saying that Ubisoft will close your account if you haven't logged in for some time, and you will lose all of your purchases forever. Um, it
That
says
doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound legal.
Yeah, it says Twitter user PC underscore enjoyer of piracy and anti DRM advocate. Oh, a piracy advocate. I like this guy. Tweeted a very phishing like email from Ubisoft informing them that they have not been using their Ubisoft account. As such, the company has temporarily suspended the inactive account, and it would be closed in 30 days in accordance with the terms of use. And I am reading this. It looks it says, hello, we noticed that you have not been using your Ubisoft account associated with this email address. We have temporarily suspended your inactive Ubisoft account. We'll be closing it permanently in 30 days in accordance to our terms of use. It does sound like a phishing email, right? Like, I get them all the time where it's like, hey, we missed your pickup for this Amazon purchase. Just click this link and give us your password. So it sounds kind of like that. But the message includes a cancel button for the user to keep using their Ubisoft account open. Again, this looks pretty suspicious, but the company's support staff later confirmed that it is not a scam. They said, "Hey there, we just wanted to chime in that you can avoid the account closure by logging into your account within 30 days." And selecting cancel account closure link contained in the email. But why? We certainly do not want you to lose access to your games or accounts, so if you have any difficulties logging in, please create a support case. But here's the deal. If I'm logging into my account, and the reason why you are canceling the account is because I haven't been logging in, then why do I have to log in and then press the cancel account closure button? Shouldn't that be automatic?
Right, it knows that you've logged in. It seems like they're trying to get people to buy the repeat licenses to play games they already purchased. And boy, does that doesn't sound like it should be legal.
No, it does not. As per PC Gamer, Ubisoft states the voluntary account closure page that accounts cannot be recovered once they have been closed, which is why a 30-day cooling off suspension period is activated before deletion. it should just be illegal for you to do. What if I can't? What if there's some reason why I can't log in? Like I'm on vacation or in the
I'm out of the country.
military.
Right.
Some reason why. This just seems not great. Ubisoft, once voted the most hated video game company in 23 countries, is no stranger to controversy. That is that's the first line of the last paragraph, and I love it. Most hated video game company in 23 countries. I don't. First off, if you have a Ubisoft account and you don't want to lose your games, just make sure you're logging in every once in a while. But they should seriously change the practice, and hopefully, after all the backlash that they're getting from Twitter and other news sources, that they'll just be like, oh, look, we just changed our policy and you'll never have your account closed because of inactivity.
I
Because
want to say
that's
this
bad.
isn't even a new policy. Like, does it say when this became their official policy, or are people just getting mad about it in the rounds again?
I think the reason why people are getting mad is because it's the thing that's happened recently and somebody who's slightly higher profile noticed it. I don't know who this person is, but let's
Someone
take a
who's
look.
just vocal or whatever. That part really doesn't matter for the sake of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they don't
But
have that many they only have 4,200 followers. But
if
I
this
yeah.
is if this is already the case, then like assuming that this isn't the case for like people who purchase their games from Steam rather than the Ubisoft client directly, those games are probably already gone. It's too late for me.
Yeah. It says here the big question about how long a Ubisoft account must remain inactive before the threat of losing it and all purchases looms large. According to a Twitter note, Ubisoft claims that they don't close accounts that are inactive for less than 4 years. Like,
Hmm.
that's a long time to not log into a single account.
On
But
one
if
hand, I agree with that. On the other hand, they purchased the license. Who cares? It,
exactly.
it's it's a unique identifier and a license key. That's not a lot of data to keep.
I know what I would do. I would not cancel the account, obviously, if I was Ubisoft. But if they were inactive for that long of a time, I would at least require them to reset their password the next time they logged in.
Yeah, put that server on an archive partition or something like that. Put it on ice.
Yeah, I would just be like, yeah, let's make it so that you gotta change your password because that's not great. That's not a good amount of time to keep your passwords the same. But
Just being
let's.
like, no, fuck you, buy it again. That sucks. That sucks so bad.
I closed out of one of my tabs. Give me a second here. Oh yeah, that one. That one's fun. So, what do you think of the federal government?
Uh, that, I think things could be being handled a lot better than they currently are, I suppose.
That's true. What do you think about the Federal Reserve?
I guess I think that things could be being handled a lot better than they currently are, I suppose.
Would you like to have PayPal or Venmo or Cash App, but done through the government?
You know, all joking aside, like I think that might just be the bare minimum of what I would expect to be available.
And they are making it a reality. I don't know if you actually read it. Uh,
Yes, I did.
okay, so I have a coworker who anytime I've spoken about this coworker before, but anytime I complain about something happening in the United States, his response is always that the Federal Reserve is the problem. Oh, the unions are getting union busted. That's the Federal Reserve. The economy sucks. That's a federal like it's everything every problem with the country is because of the Federal Reserve. And that makes me really want to download this new app, which is called FedNow. And FedNow it's PayPal, where you can give and receive money over the interwebs. Like if I needed to pay Connor for something, I could do it through FedNow instead of PayPal or Venmo, something like that. I don't. It's weird that they're coming out with this in 2023. You'd think it would have been a thing like 25 years ago, but cool. I guess they.
Oh, no, okay, being generous, I think this is something I would expect them to have done between 10 to 5 years. And that
Okay.
5 is really irking it, though.
Yeah. I guess the European Union already does that. They already have like a federal way of sending money, which, yes, the federal government sucks in a lot of ways, but I don't know which I would trust more. Would I trust PayPal more with my money, or would I trust the federal government who already has access to all my money? Um, it's interesting. This is from TechSpot. It says the Fed just announced that its long-awaited system for instant payments has finally gone live. FedNow, which has been in the works since 2019, will provide individuals and small to medium businesses with a tool to transfer money any time of the day on any day of the year. Capability that was previously available only through private payment systems such as Venmo or PayPal. However, compared to those private companies which act as intermediaries between bank institutions, payments sent through FedNow will be settled directly in central bank accounts, which is good because I also wonder, is there going to be a fee? Because like PayPal has a fee after a certain amount, especially for business-related stuff. If I give you money as a friend, I don't have to pay a fee, but if I'm paying for like a service, there's a PayPal fee. And transferring money from my PayPal account to my bank account, there's also like a 1.5% fee. I don't know how much
I
you've
would
used it.
I've not really like I used to use that all the time. Not this one, obviously, but I used to use like whatever the Chase equivalent was for paying my rent all the time,
Zelle.
and that was great as long as it was a Chase to Chase customer.
Yeah.
If I ever had to pay someone else, I'd just be like, "Hold on, I'm gonna walk to an ATM. Here's some greenbacks."
Yeah, it was what was it? Chase Quick Pay. I hate that I use Chase. Um but it's what I've known for the last like
It's what's
over.
in the area.
Exactly. Compared to FedWire, which was their old one, FedNow is designed to provide uninterrupted 24 by 7 by 365, so all the days, payment processing capabilities while maintaining payment integrity and data security. The Fed states, for the time being, 35 banks and credit unions, as well as the U.S. Department of the Treasury and Fiscal, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Bureau of the Fiscal Service are ready to accept instant payments through the new service. Furthermore, 16 service providers are ready to support payment processing for the aforementioned banks and credit unions. I do not see a percentage of what is charged, but it does say that they have a maximum payment limit of $500,000 for an individual payment, which I think is more than what I'm going to be sending
I think that's more
for.
than it needs to be for a maximum.
I mean, they also, well, I would say no, because they are doing it with small and medium businesses as well.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. If you got to do like a big time pay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because like my boss, we get a budget at the beginning of the year. I don't know how it works for you guys, but we get a budget at the beginning of the year, and my boss basically argues for that budget. And then about 6 or 7 months later, they do like a budget evaluation where they're like, oh, you're not using all of this budget. We're going to shrink your budget for this year and put it into this area or put it back into our profits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So do you have any insight of how that works where you're at?
Not even the slightest.
My boss was just like, yeah, so they're doing this, and I don't want them to take any money away from me. So I just made a $750,000 order. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So it kind of makes sense that 500 grand would be that like level, because business, they don't want to lose that money a lot of the time. So they're just like, we don't want to lose it. And if I use the money, then they can't take it away from me.
Let me ask you a question real quick. What part of that sounds sustainable though? I think a lot of the problem of how we got where we are right now is because of that exact mindset.
I completely understand, but I don't have any control over any of that. I'm saying that I think that if the budget is made at the beginning of the year, they shouldn't take away anybody's budget. Like, you can do the evaluation after 6 or 7 months and see how the money is being spent, and look at that for next year's budget. But if you were
Or
already told, hey, you get $1 million for your budget this year, you can't come to me in 6 or 7 months and say, hey, by the way, it looks like you're not using the correct percentage of that. We're going to take $100,000 away from your budget. I don't think that's cool.
I also don't understand why you'd budget out for an entire year all at once and not be adjusting that periodically, like as a part of a convention.
And I agree with that. We did, case in point, we have to spend money from our budget to re-equip one of our clinics with new computers and probably a new server, just a bunch of new stuff, because apparently it flooded. And so they were not on our list of clinics to upgrade, and now they are on our list of clinics to upgrade. That's one way to get new computers. Accidentally flood the building. I guess a pipe burst or something like that.
It would do it.
Yeah, that would do it. But as you were saying, like, now we have to budget out for that extra clinic. And there's another thing that we didn't know about at the beginning of the year. There's a new clinic opening in our area that we're also going to have to put computers and servers into, that we didn't know about when the budget was originally made. So it is a little silly. I think maybe they should do 6-month budgets instead.
No, fuck that. Every 2 weeks, get an update on what you need. Shit, if a building gets a burst pipe in it, you are not going to stick with the same budget that you had 6 to 8 months ago.
The reason why I would fight back against that is then your accountants would be redoing the budget every 2 to 3 weeks, and that would make them run ragged.
Yes,
Looking
but you could
over
do a little bit of the budget.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe a bi-monthly thing or a quarterly thing would make more sense, where it's like 3 or 4 months out rather than 6 months or a year. But it is a lot of stuff that just happens, and I don't know how businesses work, man. I've been looking over the FedNOW site. I don't see on the front page what their fees would be, but I'm sure that they have some sort of fee, because even the government has to make their money. So that's it. We had another story we were going to talk about, but I dropped it. And the reason why I dropped it was because it was a bunch of rumors and speculation on the PlayStation 5 Pro, which will probably come out at some point. The only thing I'm going to say about it is rumors are that it will probably drop fall of next year. But even on that page, that the reason why I dropped it was because on that page it was like, oh, it could be fall of next year or it could be late this year, and I'm just like, okay, then it doesn't. You're giving me 12 months to work with. Thanks a lot. So my question is, will you have a nice day?
No, I don't think so. It's been ruined.
It's been ruined by what?
Being here. It's always the worst. Let me out of your basement.
No. I'd let you have your Steam Deck in the basement. You're fine.
What more do I need, I guess?
Exactly. So thank you for being here, and we will be back next week talking about some more news from the video game and tech world. Thank you for being here, Connor. Goodbye.
Goodbye.